With active reconnaissance, we're going to go a step further, and we're going to use methods and tactics that are actually going to go beyond the passive nature that we were talking about before. We're going to go in there and we're actually going to actively touch our targets. We're going to communicate with them. We're going to interact with them. And we're going to try to extract as much information as we can, basically without getting caught or dropping to a technical level such as scans and things of that nature. So pretty much anything that wouldn't show up on an intrusion review could be considered active reconnaissance. And as a matter of fact, you'll notice as we go through these different steps of the methodologies that active reconnaissance and passive reconnaissance have a very gray area between them. Some things, such as going through and trying various URLs on a website, such as remoteaccess.microsoft.com, would raise suspicion when looking at hitting those DNS servers. So that could be borderline active reconnaissance, but we're going to call it passive because most companies don't monitor that. So as you can see, those lines are very gray. So active reconnaissance sometimes can bleed over into more advanced versions of our methodology. So we're going to cover some relatively high-level reconnaissance methods for active reconnaissance. And always keep in mind, even when performing passive and active reconnaissance, the goal here is to think outside the box because that's what hackers are going to be doing, and we want to be on that same level with them. So we want to be thinking of ways that we can extract information from that company using fairly normal methods. So hackers might find, for example, a number that was accidentally listed in the phone book that points back to a secure area where they can call and talk to people who may not be up to speed on what information they can give out over the phone. I've had several scenarios in the past where users would get phone calls from outside people requesting information, wanting email addresses and contact, things that are not normally listed on the outside. That's going to be active reconnaissance, and those are the type things that we want to put ourselves in. So basically, we're going to do everything we can just shy of scanning and hacking the system to gain as much information in preparation for that step. So oftentimes, we can actually go to the physical location, see what kind of physical security they have set up. In some scenarios, a lot of companies will give tours of their data center, for example, or things of that nature, or actually go to the lady at the front desk and find out what it takes to get through the door. Do we have to register with someone? Do we have to have a sponsor? And if so, a lot of the things that you're going to learn in the passive reconnaissance process, such as executive names and phone numbers, would be a great example. You go up to the front desk, you say, "My name is so-and-so, I'm here to speak with," drop one of the names you learned during passive reconnaissance, possibly even give their extension or their phone number, and oftentimes, they won't go through the verification process because someone at that level probably doesn't want to have to answer to a higher level boss. So, a scenario that I dealt with in the past with a relatively large financial institution is we go through the door, we walk up to the front desk, and we say, "Hi, we're here to see the CEO. Bob, the CEO, requested that we came in. We're running a few minutes late. He's already in the meeting room, and we need to get in there as quickly as possible. Can you give us visitor passes?" And naturally, the secretary is going to assume on her part she's not going to be able to reach the CEO in that meeting. She doesn't want to go through the process of trying to track them down and cause us to be even more late to the meeting than we already are. So as a general rule, you can just pass right through with a visitor's pass, signed in and everything. So keep in mind, that would be an example of active reconnaissance.